Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. So, the last couple of weeks have been interesting is definitely an understatement, especially with the price movements that we've been seeing within the cryptocurrency market. Recently, it's actually been across the board. It's not like this is like one singular case. Multiple different companies have been coming forward with ideas, predictions, price predictions, but also kind of like a methodology as to why the market is currently reacting the way that it is. We have seen finally in explicit terms exactly who is in the market. This was something that happened a couple of years ago where for some reason, no matter what news I gave, no matter what was actually out there in the news that week, that day, that month, that year, a lot of people were constantly surprised that institutions were actually in the cryptocurrency market. We also recently just spoke about that a couple of days ago as well on this channel and also my other channel, The Modern Investor, where we have actively seen that there are a number of countries, who are also buying up tons of Bitcoin as well. And then when we see these like major price movements, like we've been seeing over the course of the last like 5 to 6 weeks, how do I put it in like a very interesting way? It's abundantly clear that this is probably going to be the first cryptocurrency bull run for a lot of people. Hello, welcome. It's going to be a heck of a ride. Secondly, a lot of people who've already been in the market, shame on thee, because I'm not really sure how you didn't see the patterns from before and or how at any point you might have been completely surprised about the reasons and also the movements of the current market. We've been talking about this for a while now. This isn't anything like spectacularly new. We've seen even during the course of the market moving down, during the bear market that began roughly, people are estimating, at the end of 2021, into the entire FTX Sam Bankman-Fried fiasco, which I still think was part of the I feel like people used that excuse to bring prices down so that institutions could actually get into this space. And this is why we've been hearing that a lot of recent institutions have actually been in the cryptocurrency space since around 2021, 22, when prices went down, which is a really weird time to want to get into the cryptocurrency industry, especially as the news was telling everyone out there that something was completely wrong and horrible and terrible with the cryptocurrency market because of FTX and because of Sam Bankman-Fried. So you would logically assume that they would have wanted to stay away. However, as every normal person was told to get out of the market, all these institutions jumped in. If you catch my drift. On top of that, the amount of money that's been flowing through the market has been egregiously spectacular. The supply crunch that we've been talking about for a while, I think people are getting it now. I know that a lot of you got it. I'm not saying that everyone did and not got it before. Not a real sentence. But the idea that any large purchase of Bitcoin on the market would have a positive effect on the price is usually kind of hard to believe, especially when prices are going down, which is also a light form of market manipulation by the institutions. But now to see it, especially at the time of me making this video, weeks before we actually even get to the Bitcoin halving, is something very special. There's a company by the name of CryptoQuant, that's crypto and Quant, Q-U-A-N-T, who said that not only are we already in, but we are going to see further advancements of the bull market, the bull run that we're currently having in 2024. Once again, throwing it out there. It's a little bit unorthodox because we normally don't see this kind of movement until a couple of months, it's like multiple S's, after the halving has actually taken place. And they also are saying that different from other times, this bull run might actually be extremely different from every other one that we've had before. So, I also wasn't there. I was going to say, you remember? Like the earlier bull runs, I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of reading. I've like looked up all these things within the market. The 2012, the 2016, 2017, all these other things. And I dare even lightly say 2020 and 2021 and before, these were mainly, according to like on-chain data, mainly driven by retail investors, everyday normal people, people, your friends, your family who are buying fragments of coins, entire this, and they have that, so and so. Crypto Quant says that their analytics show that typically whenever there has been or was or is some type of negative news in the cryptocurrency space and or in the world, they see that smaller wallets, brand new markets, and or wallets that they say are retail, they belong to everyday normal people, they tend to get scared and they end up selling off their coins. One of the things that they are very interesting, they said, I mean, we all were around in 2020, 2021. If you weren't, how'd you do it? They said in 2020, 2021, the movement began when we saw that people were told to remain in their abodes. And then people were trying to figure out ways to make money. Everyone threw their money into the cryptocurrency market. The market moved up logically. But they said in 2021, the idea was that the rapid amount of uncertainty, you might remember those videos as well from that time where I was constantly saying, I was like, try not to be afraid. I know it's difficult to tell people not to be afraid of things that are happening in the market. But they said the main reason why the market went down so quickly as it did, that's because people were expecting Bitcoin to go well over $100,000 based on tons of different metrics, was that a lot of the new people who were actually in the market were retail. There were people who had like smaller sums of money and or might have only had never been into the stock market before, had never been into investing before, and this might have been their first foray into like a big market, if you will. And upon hearing anything that might be deemed scary or could make them lose money, these people sold off their coins immediately. But the problem is that if you don't have, I don't even know how to say it. If something makes one person in the crowd scared and you can scare 5 other people, those other 5 people are also going to scare 30 more people. And it kind of continues going further and further until everyone has like crashed out into the market. So they said that there's like a portion of institutions who they saw were in the market. We know that they've been there for a while, but we've never seen anything quite like what we currently have right now. For those of you who've been missing the numbers, the ETF holders, issuers, makers hold a rather large purchase of Bitcoin. And they've done so in a 5 to 6 week period. And there's about $500 million worth of accumulation that's happening every single day. And that's just from the actual ETF holders. So Crypto Quant says this time is and will be extremely different because it's no longer people who've recently gotten into the market, people who don't know how markets act, and or people who basically aren't whales, because whales will make sure, this is something for the future, whales are going to make sure that they find ways to scare people and or manipulate the market to be able to have you flush out your coins. You'll typically hear people say in the crypto space like weak hands. It usually basically means that these institutions, it's not that anything is wrong with you, like specifically because you have weak hands. It's more of these institutions are trying to gobble up as much Bitcoin as possible, something that we've been talking about over the course of the last 2 years. The predictions that we have for Bitcoin between now and the year 2029 range anywhere from $300,000 per Bitcoin to $1.2 million per Bitcoin, not after this halving, but the next one in 2028 and therefore thereafter. So if you have a situation where these institutions are already talking openly about, especially on TV and CNBC and all these other places, where they think this market can go, and you have a situation where you as an institution can buy something for 30, 40, 50, 60,000 and it goes up to 1.2 million, they're going to do what they need to do to be able to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. This is going to be probably one of the craziest bull runs that realistically that we've ever had, just especially specifically when you talk about the actual predictions that we have and the metrics that we have and how much Bitcoin is being accumulated. For those of you who missed it in the other video, the numbers were BlackRock and Fidelity alone are currently buying 13x more Bitcoin than is being created per day. When the halving happens and the issuance rate gets cut in half, they'll be buying 26 times more Bitcoin than is actually being created per day. And they're not the only ones doing it, because we also see other institutions getting into it as well. There's a whole bunch of other ETF managers and fund managers and hedge fund managers recently in the news. I didn't bring it here because it's like, oh, cool, that happened. Where they're also now discussing allocations of several $100 million at a time to be able to also have exposure to Bitcoin, and or that they're also going to be buying Bitcoin as well. So yeah, this is going to be one for the books. And I'm very excited, I think more so to see exactly where we are by summertime, specifically because the halving will have happened. And this is usually when the buying frenzy by retail typically begins. But now we also have the institutions here as well. And this is why we're getting those like 100,000 plus per Bitcoin by summer. And the brand new one that we just got of the $150,000 per Bitcoin by the end of this year. So yeah, there's also like more to actually discuss as far as like the stuff that Crypto Quant found. It was more of a as far as like exchange deposits and withdrawals, they noticed that a lot of them were basically coming from like smaller players within the space. And anytime that a major player like entered the market, they were basically buying up all the coins as they've been doing every other time before. Yeah, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.